Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the All Things Leeds podcast. I'm NkGhTg and joining me remotely is, as always, Charles Foster. Charles, hello.
Hi, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just enjoying the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend started. We're recording this very early on a Saturday morning. So, up bright and early. I quite like early mornings, to be fair. I do quite like
I
early
don't.
mornings. Yeah, I know you don't, but no, it is the weekend. It is the weekend, so a bit of time off, bit of free time. But yeah, glad you're doing well, mate. We've got loads coming up in the show. We will have a look back on Leeds United's last couple of games, including that 7-goal thriller against Fulham. We've got plenty of news and transfer news to go over as well in this episode before we look ahead to Leeds United's next game, which is against Yorkshire rival Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane this Sunday. Loads coming up here on the All Things Leeds podcast. Well, before we get into anything, we do need to start off this episode, unfortunately, with some sad news, as former Leeds United defender Peter Hampton has sadly passed away recently. We just want to send our thoughts and prayers out to his family and friends at this difficult time. Well, let's get into Leeds United's last couple of games then. We will go into Leeds United's 7-goal thriller against Fulham very shortly, but we do just need to brush over that incredibly disappointing round 2 Carabao Cup tie against Hull City at Elland Road. 1-1 after normal time, and then Hull City ended up winning 9-8 on penalties. And Leeds United are out of the Carabao Cup. Now, I did watch this game. I spent £10 to watch the game. And what a mistake that was. What a waste of money that was, spending £10 on the game. Because, it was such an awful game. Now, granted, Bielsa did make 11 changes. And the majority of players in the starting 11 were the youth team players. But we still have the likes of Rodrigo, Tyler Roberts and Alioski playing. We did put out a team that was good enough to beat League One Hull City, but we were just woeful. We were just woeful, Charles, weren't we?
Yeah, we just couldn't seem to get. I think Bielsa said it in the post-match. The team didn't gel together well. There was too much inexperience in that central area of the pitch. With Davis and Casey there, it seemed to be a constant weak spot, which. Obviously, former Leeds player Malik Wilks exploited quite a lot during the game, particularly in the first half. Douglas was playing as well. He had a few decent deliveries, but overall, not spectacular. It was just not a very good game of football. We didn't really create much. We weren't really getting anywhere up the pitch, and Hull just seemed like they really wanted it more than we did.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you. I think, the team just didn't gel together because there was too much experienced players and too many inexperienced players playing. And the inexperienced players as well were kind of out of position as well. Bogusz, he was playing defensive midfield when he's not a defensive midfielder. He's an attacking midfielder. I just thought it was a pretty poor team lineup, really. I was expecting changes, but 11 changes, that was probably a bit too much, wasn't it, Charles?
Yeah, I think that we kind of lost the cohesion in the team. It didn't really feel like at any point during the game that we were going to win it. And if we were going to win it, we didn't deserve it. I expected we were going to lose 1-0 from the moment they scored. I think.
Yeah.
But so I was incredibly surprised to see that we'd scored obviously a last-minute equaliser to take it to penalties.
Yeah,
but we didn't deserve to go through. We didn't play well enough.
Yeah, 100%. I was expecting us to lose even before Hull City went ahead, and Hull City went ahead on 5 minutes. Before that they were creating loads of chances and made a few clear-cut chances very early on. Hull City were so good on the night, and Leeds United were just woeful. But as I said, 5 minutes in, Hull City were 1-0 ahead. Former Leeds United striker Malik Wilks scoring at the Kop end after his shot was deflected. Poor defending here as Wilks was given way too much time on the ball, really. And NkGhTg here as well, giving the ball away. Poor goalkeeping, poor defending, really. Just a very poor goal to concede was this, Charles.
Yeah, Wilks got the ball and he probably had enough time to eat his Sunday dinner by the time we would have closed him down. He had so much time on the ball, so yeah, and obviously shot and deflected in. So, and then we were behind, and we deserved to be behind. And of course, it had to be Wilkes as well. It had to be someone we, got rid of out of the academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not brilliant, but yeah.
And Wilkes always seems to have really good games against Leeds United as well. He always seems to be up for it against his former club, Leeds United, does Malik Wilkes. But yeah, Hull City deservedly 1-0 up really after 5 minutes. Leeds, as we were saying, poor all night. Defending was poor. And Casilla as well. He was especially poor. Now, we did make some good saves, but overall he had a poor game. And, the attack was decent. We didn't really create too many chances, but I felt the attack was fine. It's just we struggled to create, to get any control in that midfield and in defence. And I was saying in the group chat, wasn't I, Charles, get Pascal Struijk on and get Calvin Phillips on. Just get some more control in defence. Even though we're 1-0 down, I was saying, get a defender on. We need more control in there. And Struijk did come on at half-time, but it didn't really change anything. Hull City were the better team. Yeah, but somehow Leeds United did equalise on the last minute. Alioski with the goal taking the game to a penalty shootout, and it was a really good penalty shootout as well. Some very good quality penalties in the shootout, and it went on for a very long time. But Hull did end up winning 9-8 and deservedly too. So Hull City knocking Leeds United out of the cup competition. Now I must say, Kiko Kasey starting for Leeds and getting the captain's armband. I don't agree with that. For obvious reasons, I don't think Kiko Kasey should even be at the club, let alone playing. But to start him and get the captain's armband, I thought it was a disgrace, really. What about you, Charles?
Yeah, I wasn't pleased with it. Bielsa said that the players chose Kasey as captain, so it wasn't a decision of the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, we expressed our feelings on here. I don't really want him at the club for footballing reasons and for the reasons that he got banned for his use of racist language. So yeah, I wasn't pleased to see him in the lineup at all, and I was especially not pleased to see him given the captain's armband.
Yeah.
I'd have probably given it to Douglas. Well, as an experience, but either Douglas or Rodrigo, because they're both experienced players.
Yeah, I mean, don't think you can really give it to Rodrigo because he's a new signing. I'd have given it to Bobby Douglas, but as you said, the players choose, but surely someone's there. There's got to be overruled the decision and change it and not give Kasey the captain's armband. I thought that was disgraceful, but we'll move on. Now, Leeds United losing here. Now, the result caused quite a lot of debate on social media amongst Leeds United fans. Whether this performance was worrying or not. Now, for me, I think it was pretty concerning. Now, of course, the big positive obviously is that we've got less games to worry about. But, in these games, it wouldn't have been the first team players playing anyway. It would have been the fringe players. And, Alioski admitted in the post-match press conference after the game that, that's now less game time for those fringe players like Alioski. So, yeah, he was a bit down about it. And it's one less trophy as well to win now. As I say, less game time. And, the fact that these fringe players, they're our backup players. They're the players who are sitting on the bench in Premier League games and they can't beat League One side Hull City. It was a bit concerning. For me, it shows that, we do need strength in depth and probably more signings, Charles.
Yeah, I don't think we should, blow it too out of proportion.
Yeah.
I think there were, like I said, there was a lot of changes and the team was really a bit, pushed together. It wasn't really, a fluid lineup at all for positionally wise. And you can have poor performances, but yeah, I can understand what you mean because we should be turning them over, and they were the better team, so that is slightly worrying. But I don't think we should blow it massively out of proportion. I think you can have poor performances, and it will happen during the season. We'll have poor performances in the league this season. Definitely, probably in the next 5 or 6 games, there'll be at least 1 or 2 poor performances. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah,
just unfortunate that we're losing the cup games, as you say, for the fringe players. But we don't have a midweek game now until December, I think. So that should be easier on the likes of Rodrigo, who will be, and Alioski will be kind of heavily involved in playing on a league match day. So the positives and negatives to the getting knocked out of the cup, but it is the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, I should say. So it's not exactly the best competition we're involved in this season.
Yeah.
So I'm not too gutted about it. Losing to Hull was a bit annoying though, because I don't want to play Hull anymore, as I said in the last podcast.
Yeah, I really wanted to beat Hull City. I'm not really a big fan of Hull City. I did really want to beat them, but it just seemed like we didn't really try. But yeah, I'm pretty disappointed that we lost, but it's not that gutting. It's less games now, and yeah, we didn't have to go down to West Ham midweek as well. So yeah, I guess that's a bit of positives, but there is some negatives there, such as fringe players not being able to beat League One Hull City. So yeah, maybe some strengthening needed, but yeah, overall probably not. Probably don't look into it too much. Just Paul Knight, really. Paul Knight. I guess Ian Poveda, though, I do want to say he looked really good. So that's one big positive there. Well, moving on, let's now look back at what was a much better game, really. Last Saturday's 4-3 victory over Fulham at Elland Road. Leeds United picking up their first Premier League win of the season. Another 7-goal thriller, Charles. And this game was very entertaining, to say the very least.
Yeah, it was once again a very entertaining game for the neutral. It wasn't any good for my blood pressure watching it. Watching the updates roll in from Twitter and then watching it back again after it had finished. Yeah, it was. I mean, attacking wise, we're looking phenomenal. We're looking really fluid. Patrick Bamford appears to be doing his usual thing, which is playing out of his skin whenever we sign another striker. So. Yeah, and Helder Costa obviously is started the season fantastically as well.
Yeah,
I think they're getting a lot more time on the ball in the Premier League than they are in the Championship, because the Premier League's nowhere near as physical. So yeah, well, I think we're seeing the best of our attacking players at the moment. Defensively, we're looking dodgy. We're looking leaky. We're looking any other E words. We're not looking great at all.
Yeah,
and we need to sort of tighten up, otherwise we're going to get seriously punished by somebody, probably Man City in the next few games. They're going to hugely turn us over if we don't tighten up.
Yeah, 100%. I put out on Twitter at the weekend. It's a good thing we can score goals, because defensively we are all over the place. And I was saying, the positive to take from this game is we scored 4 goals. That's 7 goals in the first 2 games of the Premier League season. That's good. Way better than last season, where we could barely score a goal, where we seem to be scoring every chance now this season. So that's good. 7 goals in the first 2 games. But the negatives is we've conceded 7 goals in the first 2 games. So, yeah, it's a bit concerning, So if the goals dry up and we're still conceding goals for fun, yeah, it's slightly concerning, isn't it, Charles?
Yeah, it's not the best, but if we keep being as efficient as this all season, then I think we're going to be onto a very good thing. But as you say, it will dry up eventually, so we do need to be tighter at the back. And
100%.
Just we're making silly mistakes at the moment as well. There's been a lot of silly mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
Can be easily cut out.
Yeah, 100%. We do need to tighten up at the back, really. And yeah, as you're saying, it wasn't really too good for my blood pressure either. Although it's nice to watch a 7-goal thriller, and it's great for the neutrals. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a boring 1 or 2-0 victory from time to time. So but no, Leeds United do look, great value for money this season. But yeah, one change from the Liverpool game for this game. Captain Liam Cooper came straight back into defence to replace Pascal Struijk, who dropped to the bench, and it was expected, really. Rodrigo came into the starting 11 late on, as Pablo Hernandez picked up a groin strain in the warm-up, and he will be out for up to 2 weeks. Marcelo Bielsa has confirmed, which isn't too good. Hopefully Hernandez recovers well and quickly. Will we miss Pablo Hernandez much, do you think?
Yes, because I don't think we've got anybody who does his job nearly as well as he does his job. I think and I don't think Rodrigo. Tyler Roberts occasionally has good games there, but I always prefer Tyler Roberts playing it up front in the number 9 role. Yeah. I don't think Rodrigo can play that role, really. He didn't seem to other than a few nice touches here and there, he didn't really get into the game. That's why he came off at half time, and Bielsa went with Tyler Roberts for the second half. He's a big loss, and we do need to find somebody to replace him fairly quickly, because I know the club are interested in signing another midfielder. but the moment we seem to be linked to a lot of defensive midfielders, these deep lying playmakers. It's like we don't really need that. Or wingers. It's like we've got loads of wingers at the club, but we actually need is a number 10.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was a bit disappointed with Pablo dropping out, but in the end we won the game, so I'm not too gutted in hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, we will miss Pablo Hernandez because he is a good player, but I mean, he was fairly quiet against Liverpool, so. But regardless, we will miss Pablo Hernandez, so hopefully he does recover well and quickly. And as you say, Rodrigo came off at halftime for Tyler Roberts. Rodrigo didn't really have a great game, so yeah, probably a number 10 is needed. We'll get onto all the transfers later on in the show. But yeah, great start for Leeds in this game. Helder Costa putting Leeds 1-0 up after 5 minutes as a corner was delivered into the box. The ball fell to Costa, who was unmarked at the back post, and he smashed it in off the crossbar. A very good finish, Charles.
Yeah, it looked really. It was one of those goals that looked really cool in slow motion because he kind of hits it on the half volley as it bounces back up. So it looks really good, and he hits it, and he put some power into it. But yeah, it's poor defending from Hull really, and it's that's what we're there to do. We're there to punish the mistakes, and they're going to make poor defensive headers and leave people unmarked to the back post. Then I like to see us take advantage of that, and going 1-0 up on 5 minutes is just can't. I mean, it should calm the game right down, but it didn't. So that's what we'll get on to.
Yeah. But yeah, 1-0 up after 5 minutes. Great start for Leeds, and Fulham, they caused some trouble, but not too much. Leeds were very good off the ball, kept Fulham quiet. But that was until the 33rd minute when Fulham were awarded a penalty by referee Anthony Taylor after Robin Koch slid in on Brian in the box. Mitrovic stepped up and scored the penalty to make it 1-1. But Charles, was this a penalty in your opinion?
I mean, not for me because he slides in and then he pulls out, and Joe Bryan has about 3 seconds to avoid hitting his legs, and he continues to run, and he actually moves towards his legs to make sure he's fouled. So he could have easily jumped the foul in the time he got because Koch pulled out of it. So he could have easily avoided it. But, I know players are a bit, more dishonest these days, and I say these days, they've always been fairly dishonest, and trying to find penalties wherever they can because they know VAR will pick it up. And so yeah, in real time it looked bad, but for me, when you see it sort of slowed down, he deliberately runs into his legs. He has the time to either move out of the way or jump over. So yeah, not for me.
I mean, in my opinion, I think it was a penalty. Obviously, I'd prefer this not to be given a penalty. I think 10 years ago, if this happened, it wouldn't have been a penalty. But I think, in this day and age, I think, yeah, it is a penalty. For me, Koch, he slid in clumsily, really, and he did make contact. So yeah, for me, it was. I think it was just stupid decision from Koch just to go sliding in willy nilly. Yes, he did try to pull out, but he still made contact. So yes, yeah, in my opinion, I think it was a penalty. But yeah, that's now 2 penalties Koch's given away in the first 2 games. Are you convinced by Koch yet? Are you convinced? Are you confident with him yet? Do you think he will? Do you think he will come good?
That's a hell of a sentence. That am I convinced by him? I thought he actually, other than the penalty, which was just a rushable to the head and seemed a bit ridiculous, I thought he had a much better game in this game than in the Liverpool game. I was more impressed with his general play, and I think it's getting there. I just think we just need a couple more games, maybe 5 or 6 games in, and the defensive unit will be more settled, and we'll especially given as we're going to talk about the new signing in a bit. Yeah. But I think once the defense settles down, I think he'll be okay. But yeah, he's got when Brian gets the ball there, he should just. He's not even running at the. It was like the one that Stoke gave away, in the 5-0 win last season, where he's not running towards the goal at all, and all you have to do is jockey him, towards the byline, while everyone else gets back in position. He could have just, jockeyed him while everyone else reset. But no, if you're going to slide in, you have to get the ball in the box in the Premier League, because you get punished every time, and I mean every time. And you get punished for some things, in my opinion, which aren't even penalties in the Premier League. So you've got to be very, very careful. I think he just needs that bit more awareness and anticipation, and I'm sure a couple of games he'll have that.
Yeah, 100%. He just needs to cut out the silly mistakes, really. I think overall, he is pretty solid. And, up until this point, I thought Koch was having a really, really good game, to be fair. He forced the keeper into a good save from a corner with a diving header. He was like leaning back, diving header. Really good effort, really. And then defensively as well, Hector, he almost had a free header in the box, but Koch got back well to put him off. So yeah, I thought Koch was doing okay in the game up until that point, but I do think over time, Koch will come good, and especially now we've got strong competition from the new signing, Diego Lorente. So that should only make things better, and make players improve with strong competition. We'll get into that a lot more later on in the show. But yeah, Leeds were awarded the penalty of their own on 40 minutes as Brian tapped Bamford in the back. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'd prefer if none of these penalties were given, but, in this day and age, I think it was a penalty. Brian did tap Bamford on the back. So I guess, contact there. I think it was a penalty, judging by other penalties that are given nowadays. Mateusz Klich, he stepped up and scored, as he always seems to do from the penalty spot, to score his second Premier League goal in as many games and give Leeds a 2-1 lead at half-time. 5 minutes into the second half, Leeds United were 3-0 up. Klich here playing a lovely ball through to Patrick Bamford, who took a really nice first touch and slotted it past the keeper. A really, really good finish from Bamford here. 2 goals in 2 games for him as well. Unbelievable stuff from Bamford. He, silencing all the critics he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's Klich on the ball and he spots that Bamford's kind of exploited like a huge amount of space between Fulham's centre half and the right back, and he's found that he kept well onside, so it's just a superb bit of movement from him, and it's he says his second goal in 2 games, but both of them on his weak foot, which last season he couldn't score from, without being very close to the goal. Yeah, but he perfect run, perfect spot from Klich, and a really good finish it inside the far post from Bamford. And as you were saying earlier about the our penalty, I thought that it reminded me of the one that Fulham got against us at Craven Cottage last season, where Ben White kind of slightly leaned into Mitrovic and it was given as a penalty randomly. So yeah, I didn't think ours was a penalty either. For me, it should have stayed 1-0. But yeah, the 3-1 goal was good, and then we scored it almost a couple of minutes after it to make it 4-1. At that point, I was convinced that we would either go on and score a 5th and a 6th, or we would just keep the 4-1. But that didn't happen.
57 minutes, we made it 4-1, and a really good goal as well. Bamford finding Helder Costa, who was free in the box, and a really good finish from Helder Costa to grab his brace. But on 62 minutes, Bobby Reid scored for Fulham, smashing it into the far right corner to make it 4-2. And then 5 minutes later, Mitrovic made it 4-3 with a header. I mean, what happened there, Charles? What do you think happened? Was it just complacency when we went 4-0 up? We're thinking, we're 4-1 up after 57 minutes we're cruising here. We can lay back a bit, and then, oh no, we've conceded 2 goals. Do you think it was just a bit of complacency?
Yeah, it was complacency. I mean, our fourth, I just want to talk about that briefly for a second. It's great distribution from Meslier, which is then obviously nodded on by Jack Harrison, and Bamford does that weird kind of step over thing and hits him with a burst of pace, which means he gets away down our left hand side, and just Helder Costa has an absolute free effort at goal from about 20 yards out. Just slams it in, great goal. Their second, the Bobby Reid goal, is poor defending from us. If you watch it back, Liam Cooper is out of position, way out of position, about 10 yards out of position, too far forward, because he thinks Calvin Phillips is going to lose the battle there with I think Anguissa, his name is, in Fulham's midfield. And Stuart Dallas is far too late to spot Bobby Reid's run into the middle. And then for me, Meslier should do better with a shot. I think it's close enough to him that he possibly could have saved it.
Yeah.
For the fourth one, it's, to be honest, I think defensively, Stuart Dallas had an appalling game. I thought going forward he was okay, but both their goals from open play coming down his side. it's a cross whipped in from Dallas's side, and Marcelo loses the cross. I don't know whether he loses it in the sunshine or just loses it in general. But he loses it, and Mitrovic has just got an easy header at the far post, and then at 4-3, I was getting considerably worried that we were going to screw it up. But yeah, and then after that, it seemed to shock us back into defending like professional footballers. we kind of slowed it down and ground it out and made sure. After that, the only real effort they had was that one where, I don't know who it was, it ran from deep for Fulham. He just ran from deep and shot like miles over the bar. But that was pretty much their only chance in like the last 10-15 minutes. And it was disappointing because we got caught out with really sloppy defending really from our for our goals. We let ourselves down there, I think, and particularly with the Bobby Reid goal, because Mitrovic is a good striker and he's an exceptional header of the ball, even if he is a bit of a shithouse. So I can kind of excuse them ones, even though I think Messi should do slightly better with the cross.
Yeah,
but the Bobby Reid one is just a case of people not paying attention, ball watching, and being out of position. And those kind of goals are very, very avoidable. Those are the kind of goals that we score against other teams. When they're not paying attention properly, and we just take advantage of it. So yeah, that was very avoidable.
Yeah, it was a very incredibly disappointing, really, because we were 4-1 up, we were cruising. And, deservedly 4-1 up as well. We were miles the better team, but just conceded 2 sloppy goals, really. But, disappointing. We should have won by 2 or 3 goals, but, it was 4-3. It was a lot closer than it should have been, really. We made a very hard work of that. And, it was very nervy for the past, for the last 20 or 25 minutes or so, defending that 1 goal lead. But, Leeds did manage to hold on to win 4-3. Another 7-goal thriller. As I say, Leeds look great value for money this season, though. Yeah, I don't think I can take 7-goal thrillers every single game. But there is some positives. We did score 4 goals. Bamford scored again, which is great. Bamford, breeding with confidence, and he also got an assist as well, which is a really good. And Bamford only scored 1 goal in 27 Premier League games until this season, and now for Leeds, 2 games, two Premier League goals. So incredible. Bamford just in a richer vein of form at the moment. Very good stuff from Patrick Bamford. Hopefully he does keep it up. And you do think as well, Rodrigo is probably not going to get in this team anytime soon, is he?
It's the thing. We signed Eddie Nketiah. Bamford kept his place because as soon as we signed Nketiah, he started playing well. We signed Augustin, and then Bamford started playing fairly well for the rest of the season and kept his place. And now we signed Rodrigo, and as soon as we sign him, Bamford hits a rich vein of form. It seems to happen. I feel like we're just signing players at this point to just kind of annoy Bamford into actually scoring goals for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's the power of having competition there all of a sudden. If Bamford was only competing against Ryan Edmondson, he's of course going to start every single game. But, Rodrigo here, Champions League experience, La Liga experience, very good player, £27 million. And Bamford's thought, all right, I need to play here and score here, even with my weak foot as well. So, he's doing really well, Bamford. Hopefully, he does keep it up. And, he's keeping as I say, a Champions League experienced player out of the team, which is just, insane here. But 4-3 victory to Leeds, the first win of the season, some points on the board. And the first Premier League win for 16 years, which is great. Now, I did put out a poll on Twitter, as I do after every match, asking for people's man of the match. And Helder Costa won the poll by a landslide with 57%. Patrick Bamford got 26%, Click got 11%, and Calvin Phillips got 6%. Helder Costa very, very good, and Bamford as well. Who was man of the match for you in this game?
I got to give it to Paddy. I really enjoyed his performance. I thought it was pretty sensational, really. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
One of our, I think he's the best player on the pitch. I know obviously Costa got 2 goals and Bamford only got 1, but he got the assist as well. And I thought generally we were much better when he was playing. I think when he came off, we started to struggle a bit more.
Yeah,
as we did
yeah,
in
I
the
agree.
Cardiff game last season.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for me, Patrick Bamford was man of the match. Led the line really well, got a goal, got an assist. So, yeah, I thought it was really good in this game. And yeah, a lot of positives to take. A few negatives because we conceded 3 goals, but yeah, a lot of positives to take from this 4-3 victory. Yeah, that 3 points puts us in 10th place in the Premier League at the time that we are recording, and we are above Manchester United and Chelsea currently. The first time since September the 14th, 2002. That Leeds United have found themselves above both Man United and Chelsea in the Premier League table. So yeah, a very nice sight to see. Very nice sight to see, really. And 3 points off the top of the league, which is really good. But it is only after 2 games, so I can't really look into that too much.
Did you get that off stats?
Yeah, I got it off stats. Thank you very much to
yeah.
LUFC stats on Twitter. Andrew Dalton, otherwise known. But yeah, great. It's great looking at Premier League table, seeing us comfortably in mid-table. It's great seeing that. And yeah, it was a historic Premier League weekend as well, as 44 goals were scored, making it the highest scoring Premier League weekend ever. Yeah, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Hopefully more of the same this weekend. Leeds United, of course, move on to Sunday's Yorkshire Derby against Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane. We'll preview that game later on in the show. Well, let's now have a look at how the Leeds United under-23s have done recently, and they drew 2-2 with Wolves last week in their second PL2 game of the campaign. Of course, newly managed by former under-18s coach Mark Jackson. The under-23s were 2-0 up at half-time, but could only draw 2-2. But some points on the board, though, which is very decent stuff. And Joe Geldhart and Sam Greenwood scored for the under-23. So yeah, very good stuff there, really. And unfortunately, the Leeds United women lost last Sunday, falling to a late 2-1 defeat against Norton. Let's now have a look at some news, and we'll start with some transfer news. And on Thursday, Leeds United announced the signing of Spanish defender Diego Llorente from La Liga side Real Sociedad for around £18 million. The 27-year-old has signed a 4-year deal at Elland Road, running until the summer of 2024, and he will wear the number 14 shirt. And now this name came out from absolutely nowhere, really. On Tuesday, Sky Sports were reporting that we were close to a deal for Llorente, and that was the first time we had heard of this move. And then the likes of Phil Hay and Graham Smith and other journalists were reporting on the move. So, you started to think, all right, this is actually going to happen. And yeah, it was all done very, very quickly. Reported on Tuesday, confirmed on Thursday. It all happened very, very quickly. So Leeds United clearly keeping their cards very close to their chest. And Llorente is, of course, the alternative option to 18-year-old Dinamo Zagreb defender Josko Gvardiol, who will not be coming to Leeds United now. But Llorente, very good signing. Got plenty of La Liga experience, and has played for Spain as well. It's a good signing, Charles. Good signing.
First of all, I'm going to have to be pedantic because he's Spanish, so it should be pronounced Llorente because it's double L. But I did that to annoy you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a good player. It seems like, anyway, from what I've seen of him. I mean, I've heard of him, roughly. I've heard a little bit about him before, but I haven't had much reason to look into him because there's not often you look up, random players from Spain's national squad, is there? So yeah, but he does seem like a decent player. He's had a bit of trouble with injury earlier in last season, but he seems to be at his peak more or less at 27. Because as a defender, your peak's kind of 27 to 29, really. 27 to 30, really, I suppose, for your peak years. So that's what Victor Orton said as much. So we're kind of hopefully going to get the best of him. And there'll be a lot more competition for that right centre half role because that's his preferred position, is right hand side centre half. So it'll be between him and Robin Koch, 2 new signings for the same position, which I thought was a bit strange. I mean, I'm pleased with it because I've always thought we were short on centre halves. But yeah, I'm pleased we got another defender. I personally would have signed a left back, not a centre half.
Yeah,
because I think Shurik would probably be a sufficient cover. But I was going to say I'm not pleased to see him because I think as you say, as we were saying earlier, competition is a good thing, and it will hopefully push the defence on to play as well as they possibly can.
Yeah, 100%. Strong competition here. He's a good player. Ideal for Leeds United, really. He's got good pace. A good player on the ball. Passes well. He can play central defensive midfield as well if needed. So he's very versatile, very decent player for Leeds United. Will suit Bielsa's system perfectly. And he did say when he arrived that Bielsa was a big factor. So the Bielsa factor doing us well here in the Premier League, as we were expecting, really. But we really did need a centre back, to be fair. Because we only had 3 centre backs at the club: Robin Koch, Liam Cooper, and Pascal Struijk. Pascal Struijk is a youngster, barely played any first team football. So, I think we did need another. Of course, there's still Bavardi, who looks like he is going to sign a new contract, but he is out injured for a long time. So, we did need a new centre back, and we've got one. So, a great signing here. And as I say, the alternative to Gvardiol, who is not coming. Now, what's your thoughts on that? Do you prefer having Llorente now over the inexperienced defender in Gvardiol, who, I did say last week, it wasn't really a signing that excited me. So, in my personal opinion, I think Llorente has played at the top for many years. So I do prefer him. But what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think I do prefer Llorente. He's more experienced, far more experienced, and he's an established player, whereas Gvardiol's more, obviously, one for the future. He's, a very decent prospect that he's probably going to sign for that drinks company over in Germany. Those are the rumours anyway.
Yep. RB Leipzig.
Yeah. The NK Dons of Germany. So, I think I do prefer Llorente, and I'm not just saying that because we've actually signed him. I think that his experience will come in handy, and if we were just going to sign another 18-year-old centre back, then why not, put more effort into Pascal Struijk, who seems to be that kind of role, and it's taking up that kind of role anyway as the kind of understudy. So I'm pleased we've got a more experienced player.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what we need, more experience, really. If we're looking at it realistically, our goal is to stay up in the Premier League, and experience will certainly go a long way there. But it does make an interesting dilemma, really. Of course, strong competition, but Llorente, he doesn't like that left hand side. He doesn't like playing on the left side of the defense. He likes that right side, his centre back. So straight competition for Robin Koch here, really. And, will he start ahead of Koch? Does he go straight in? Bielsa said in this press conference this week that Llorente is ready. So, and there's no plan either. Bielsa said there's no plan to switch to back 3 now that we've got Llorente. So, does he go straight in for you?
Probably not. I'd give him another week or so. Maybe another couple of games. See how Robin Koch does. If the defence doesn't improve, then I'm sure Bielsa will be open to making a few changes here and there. So I think it'll just really depend on how well we play in the next couple of games. Yeah,
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he did get chucked straight in. I mean, he's an £80 million defender as well, and Koch's only £30 million. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Llorente starting ahead of Koch eventually, but I don't think he will go straight in this weekend. I agree with you. Probably give him a few more weeks just to gel a lot more with the squad, really. But very good signing there. Diego Llorente through the door at Leeds United. As we discussed last week, Leeds United have now confirmed the signing of 18-year-old Dutch winger Crescencio Somerville from Eredivisie side Feyenoord. He signed a 3-year deal running until the summer of 2023. If you want mine and Charles's thoughts on that transfer, then go ahead and listen to last week's podcast. The Rodrigo de Paul transfer, that's still on. That hasn't progressed anywhere, really. Leeds United still haven't matched Udinese's asking price as far as we know. And de Paul is getting a lot more involved with Udinese's training and team. The longer this goes on, Charles, you're kind of thinking, will this actually happen? Will this actually happen the longer this goes on?
I don't think it will. I think there's too much difference between the price that they want, because they want somewhere between 35 and 40 million euros, and what we're willing to pay, which is kind of 25 to 30 million euros. I think there's too much of a difference there.
Yeah.
So unless they lower their asking price, and I can't see us going back in for him. To be honest, I think we'll probably look at a different option.
Yeah, same here. Do you think we should move on, Dud, or do you think that Ravazani should just put his hand in his pocket and get the money out? Because De Paul is a good player, but we shouldn't pay more than what we value him for, really, should we?
I think if Bielsa really, really wanted him, I think we would have made more of an effort by now.
Yeah,
I think we'd have probably put a higher bid, like we did with Ben White, where we were just increasingly putting bids in because it's clear that Bielsa really wanted him back. But Brian was basically saying absolutely no way. I think if we really, really if Bielsa really, really wanted Rodrigo De Paul, I think we'd have probably bid somewhere in the region of maybe not 40 million euros, but 32, 33, something like that. I think we'd have probably bid that by now. So yeah. I think that one's probably dead in the water.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, it's unfortunate that De Paul hasn't come to Leeds yet. It's clear that he wants to come to Leeds, he wants to move, but yeah, Leeds United just aren't meeting Udinese's asking price. Yeah, it is unfortunate, but yeah, I think now we should probably just move on. The transfer window shuts in 18 days or so. So yeah, I do think we probably do need to move on really and look for a more likely option really. I tell you what, though, I do still find it mad how we are, trying to get players, like De Paul for money like this. I still find it extraordinary how we're bidding 25 or so million pound on a player. It's incredible. I'm so used to just 6 years ago, where we were excited for that £1 million signing of Luke Murphy, getting NkGhTg, and now we're getting £27 million Rodrigo and bidding £25 million for De Paul as well. It's insane, isn't it, Charles?
That's what all that undeserved TV money gets you. proper transfer budget.
Yeah. And another player who's been linked with Leeds United this week is a Manchester United winger, Dan James. Of course, we were linked with Dan James in the January of 2019. It was all done. We've seen it in the documentary, first series of the Amazon documentary. Go watch it if you haven't already. But yeah, we saw it. He signed a contract and everything, but Swansea just pulled out at the last minute on deadline day of the January transfer window of 2019, and Dan James did not end up coming to Leeds United. He ended up signing for Manchester United for around £25 million, but yeah, we seem to be back in for him again. And it all depends on what Manchester United do. If Manchester United get a replacement, then it's probably more likely to happen. But Dan James, Charles, do you want to go back in for Dan James? Do you think he would be a good fit, or do you think that's history now? We probably should just move on.
I don't want us to go and sign him. I don't think we need him. Yeah, and I think he would probably cost us somewhere in the region of 12 to 15 mil. I don't really want him though, because as I say, we don't really need any more wingers.
Yeah,
we've got enough wingers to get by. We need an attacking midfielder, and I don't think he can convincingly play attacking midfield. So yeah for me, it would be a waste of money.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, although it would be a nice addition, and if we do sign him, I wouldn't argue against it. But yeah, I do think that's all past now, isn't it? We tried to sign him, it didn't happen. I think just move on from there really. But it's an interesting one, Dan James. So yeah, keep an eye on that one if that does happen. Now, it isn't just players who Leeds United are bringing in. Players have also departed the club. 20-year-old winger Jordan Stevens has joined newly promoted League One side Swindon Town on loan until the end of the season. And 20-year-old midfielder Alfie McCalmont has joined League Two side Oldham Athletic on loan until the end of the season as well. Charles, it's good that we're getting rid of the youngsters and finding them some much needed first team experience. I think it's top work from the club there.
Yeah, and we've mentioned that certain youth players probably would benefit from a few loan spells. I mean, they've been the making of some of our players in the past. I mean, talk about Jordan Stevens going to Swindon. James Milner went on loan to Swindon, and look how well he ended up doing.
Yeah.
So, not that I'm claiming Jordan Stevens is like James Milner in any way, but sometimes loan spells really do improve players. So yeah, I'm pleased for the youth players to get out on loan.
Yeah. So am I. Hopefully they get some much needed first team experience and come back to Leeds United even better. In terms of other business this window, Marcelo Bielsa said in his press conference this week that they are looking for another couple of signings. Charles, do we need any more signings in your opinion? And if so, where do you think needs strengthening? What positions?
Attacking midfield, centrally wise. And I keep saying this, and I like Stuart Dallas a lot, but another left back. We need a left back.
Yeah.
I appreciate how adaptable Stuart Dallas is, but he is a right winger playing left back. So
yeah,
I really do think we need a proper left back, because I think Barry Douglas is probably not going to be in the squad next season. I'd be surprised if he's still here next season. So we really do need a proper left back.
Yeah, I agree. I think Barry Douglas, we saw it against Hull City, he's not great, is he? Barry Douglas, he's not the same Barry Douglas that we saw at Wolves a few seasons ago, unfortunately. So, yeah, I agree. I think a proper good left-sided left back is what we need. Stuart Dallas, I do like him. He's a versatile player, very good player, but as you mentioned, a right winger playing at left back. He had a poor game against Fulham, and against Liverpool, Marcelo scored a hat-trick. Marcelo had the game of his life. So, yeah, Stuart Dallas, I think, although I really do like him, I think, yeah, a proper left-sided left-back is probably needed. A number 10 as well, definitely needed. I like Pablo Hernandez, but we've got no competition there. No competition there at all. So, yeah, I think, a good number 10 to either, replace Pablo or just as a backup, I think would be a very good option. And, yeah, Kiko there as well, if he ends up leaving, which I hope he does, another goalkeeper. But, yes, it's promising that Bielsa says that they're looking at a couple more signings, which is good. I certainly didn't think that, Llorente or DePaul, I certainly didn't think that, either one of those two would have been the last signings of the window. And yeah, they're not going to be. Leeds United are looking at other options. So yeah, that's all good. And yeah, I think a number 10 left side left back definitely needed. And yeah, Charles, you seem to agree with me. So yeah, that's all good. So yeah, hopefully Leeds United do get some more business done this window. Speaking of Marcelo Bielsa's press conference this week, he did say that midfielder Adam Forshaw won't be back for a long time. It's a long process he is out for. So yeah, I mean, I kind of feel sorry for Adam Forshaw, really. It's looking more and more likely that he will never be back.
Yeah, I mean, Bielsa also said that he needs 4 or 5 more under 23s games to get back into the swing of it, and he has been out for over a year, so it kind of does make sense. So I'm sure he'll be back eventually. And
yeah,
with us probably going to sign a new centre midfielder at some point. Yeah, it might be difficult for him to get into the squad or onto the bench, but we'll see.
Yeah, I do hope he is back at some point. He is a good player, good squad player, really. He's always a decent option, especially, if Calvin Phillips gets injured. I think Adam Forshaw fits that role quite well. So it'll be good to see him back soon. But yeah, it's just unfortunate he's still not recovered. It's really weird, wasn't it? It was around this time last year, wasn't it? September, October time, that Barnsley away game. Before that, Bielsa said Adam Forshaw is going to be back in a few games' time. And yeah, he just hasn't returned since then. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate, Adam Forshaw. Hopefully he does, recover well and quickly. Now, I do wish him the best of luck, Adam Forshaw. But yeah, Bielsa there saying Forshaw will be out for a little bit longer. In other news, the plan for fans to be back in football grounds in the UK on October the 1st has been pushed back. It's looking more and more unlikely that we will see football in stadiums this season, unfortunately. Moving on, take us home. Leeds United Season 2 was released on Amazon Prime Video Sports last week on Thursday, the 17th of September. 2 45-minute long episodes in this season, and it is very good, so I do recommend watching it. Charles and I will be doing a full review of Season 2 of Take Us Home, Leeds United, very soon. And finally, for those who are interested, sadly, Elland Road will not be in FIFA 21 on a launch day when it launches on October the 9th. But EA has said that, there will be a future update and Elland Road will be in it. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait, unfortunately. We'll just have to wait. Well, let's now have a look ahead to Leeds United's next game, which is against Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane this Sunday. It's a 12 p.m. kickoff live on BT Sport. Charles, what are you expecting heading into this Yorkshire derby? It should be a good game, shouldn't it?
So yeah, it's first Yorkshire derby, I think, in 19 years in the Premier League. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, the battles between Wilder and Bielsa in the Championship were interesting. So to say the least. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing them again. I think we'll give them a good game. Obviously, John Egan's suspended for them, which is good news for us, with that incredibly dodgy red card against Villa, which I'm really not sure how that was a red card, to be honest. Looked very soft to me, but we'll take it. Ethan Ampadu's probably going to replace him in their back three. He's I think they got him from Chelsea. I recognise him from FIFA and Football Manager. He always seems one of them players you sign on there. Not that that's how you should judge a player, but he is a Chelsea youth player, and he does seem to have had a really good game against Villa. So I can see him coming into the starting lineup for John Egan. Obviously, Billy Sharp loves a goal against us, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, I'm expecting a good tactical battle. I'm just hoping we can turn him over, and because they have lost their first 2 games of the season, so they are obviously there at Bramall. We're playing it at Bramall Lane, so they'll want to pick up 3 points. So really hope we can go there. I think either a draw or a win might be controversial. This I think either a draw or a win would be a good result here because we are away, and they are obviously been in the league a year longer than we have been. They've got more. They're more established, and they're a good team. I would take a draw. I'm hoping for the win, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd certainly say it's a winnable game. This one, would you not say it's another must-win, Dale?
I wouldn't say it's a must-win in a way that Fulham and Villa and West Brom are, because I think they are going to be around the foot of the table. I think Sheffield United are probably going to be. I don't think they're going to be as good as last season. I think they're going to be lower mid-table this season. I think we're going to be
second
in a similar
season
position.
syndrome.
Some people are predicting them to go down. I don't think they'll go down, but I just don't think they'll play as well. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a must-win. I would be content with a draw. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. So would I. But as you mentioned, Chris Wilder, Sheffield United, they haven't had a great start to the season. They've lost the first 2 Premier League games so far. They lost 2-0 at home to Wolves on the opening day of the season, and then they lost 1-0 away at Aston Villa last Monday. So on paper, it does look like a winnable game for Leeds United, but Sheffield United did finish 9th in the Premier League last season. They're still a very tough team to beat. So Leeds, we will have to be on top of our game, won't we, to pick up the 3 points here?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to play very, very well and not let ourselves be too defensively stretched. They're not scoring that much at the moment, and we are. That was the good news. So hopefully we can carry the first couple of games conversion rate into this game and take our chances when they come along.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's have a look at whoscored.com. So it is after 2 games, so can't really look into this too much. But yeah, whoscored.com say that Sheffield United's strengths, they are strong at aerial duels and are strong at protecting the lead. They are weak at defending set pieces, very weak at finishing scoring chances, and very weak at defending counter-attacks. So I guess that's okay, really. But, it is after 2 games, so can't really look into that too much. It is whoscored.com as well. So, yeah, take with that what you will. What team lineup do you think, will be us put out in this game? What team do you think will be unchanged from that Fulham game? Or do you think Juventus should go straight in? Do you think Rodrigo should start? What's your team lineup?
I'd probably go with the same lineup that started the game against Fulham. I don't think we don't need to make any drastic changes.
Rodrigo in number 10 then?
Yeah, I probably would do. I'd give him another chance because we'll see how it goes. I would do,
yeah, I agree. I think Rodrigo in there, and if it doesn't work out, then we can always bring Tyler Roberts on. So. I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, I'd say unchanged. I wouldn't be surprised to see Juventus, start. But yeah, I think unchanged from that Fulham win. Yeah, definitely. Now Leeds have a fairly average record against Sheffield United. I'd say in the last 13 meetings, Leeds have won 2, drawn 3, and lost 8. In the last 8 meetings, we've lost 4, won 2, and drawn 2. The last meeting, of course, we lost 1-0 at Elland Road on March the 16th, 2019. But before that, on our last visit to Bramall Lane, we beat Sheffield United 1-0 thanks to a goal from Pablo Hernandez on December the 1st, 2018. Now, before that win at Bramall Lane in 2018, we hadn't won away at Bramall Lane since the 26th of April, 1992. So, are you confident heading into this game? What's your score prediction here? Do you think we can win the game?
I think we can win the game. Whether or not we, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. You know what? I can see a draw as well, and I'd be happy with a draw. But I'll go 1-0 to Leeds United. I'll go 1-0 to Leeds United. Here's a question. I saw TalkSport talking about this. Who will finish higher this season, do you think? Leeds United or Sheffield United? Sheffield United, of course, finished 9th in the Premier League last season. We're newly promoted. Who do you think will finish higher?
It's a difficult question, this, because I think we'll finish at similar level. I think we'll both be lower mid-table. So I don't. I'm going to back us here. I'm going to back my own club.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. You know, it is difficult. You know, I think we will both be in mid-table, lower mid-table. You know, 13th, 14th. You know, that kind of way. But yeah. I'll back Leeds. I reckon we'll finish above. I think second season syndrome. They won't go down, but Sheffield United will certainly struggle this season, I do think. So, but no, an interesting game this weekend away at Sheffield United. Hopefully, Leeds United can pick up the 3 points. Well, that does bring us to the end of episode 75 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me.
No worries, mate. I'm glad to be on.
Yep, thank you for joining me, mate, and thank you as well to everyone who has listened or watched. We really do appreciate the support. If you enjoyed them, why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you are listening on there. Share the podcast around as well. It really does help us out. We do very much appreciate it. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Search All Things Leeds 1. On Twitter and Instagram, search All Things Leeds on Facebook, and subscribe to the All Things Leeds YouTube channel as well if you have not already. Charles and I will be back next week. So for now, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and we will speak to you soon.